What's going on, folks? Welcome to Kids Today with Dr. Kamal Jones. I am Dr. Kamal Jones. On today's episode of Kids Today, we're going to be talking about a huge change, a huge decision by RFK Jr. to essentially dissolve the entire CDC Vaccine Advisory Committee. I want to dig into that and what this means for kids throughout the country. So listen, I was at a graduation yesterday for our pediatric residency program at my day job. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was a beautiful graduation. And I'm sitting here with all these pediatricians and newly minted pediatricians. And one of my colleagues talks to me and they say, Kamal, did you hear what RFK Jr. just did? And I was like, no, tell me, fill me in. What took place this time, right? Because it seems like every day there's something new that is happening. And they filled me in about this big change that had just broken in the hours prior to the graduation, which was a decision by RFK Jr. to dissolve the entire 17-person panel, formerly known as ACIP, the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices. It's a really big deal. They are the folks who really form the safety decisions that come out of the CDC, figure out the scheduling for vaccinations, what's safe, what's not. They pour through the evidence and the data. When RFK Jr. has made this decision, his reason for it, and I'll read you a quote, a clean sweep is necessary to reestablish public confidence in vaccine science. The justification is removing every single person from a committee so that you can hand select your own committee in order to put public confidence back in place. I don't know a person who would feel more confident knowing that an entire committee of people, 17 scientists, replaced by RFK Jr., who is not a doctor, who is not a person with some significant medical background, who has really proven himself to be a politically focused, partisan person who has a direct and clear desire, direct and clear perspective on what he thinks about vaccines, that they are dangerous from his perspective, that they are high risk for a number of illnesses, including things like autism, which has already been borne out in the data to not be the case. And so I don't, for one, feel more confident having his hand-selected folks be the people making these decisions. So rewinding to yesterday, I get this information about RFK Jr. and in reflection, as I start to dig into the research more myself about what's going on, what the ACIP changes are, what this really means for the CDC and for vaccinations, I start to reflect on the day that we had. I'm looking around at all these new pediatricians, these newly minted pediatricians, and I'm asking myself, what is the type of world, what is the type of practice that we are sending them into? The people who are caring for children, the people who have spent, at this point, 4 years of medical school, at least. Some are MD, PhDs, and what have you, who spent maybe 7, 8 years, right? But at least 4 years of medical school and 3 years of pediatric residency to train and to learn about how they can care for children around our country, how they can save the lives of children, how they can prevent illnesses that are wholly and totally preventable. And we have our very own government undermining the reliability of the decisions that are being made for the health and the safety of children. We have our own government actively undermining our ability to make decisions and provide safe and effective vaccinations for our children. Vaccines which have saved millions of lives, have saved people from death, have saved people from long-term disability. It's our own government who's undermining this. When RFK Jr. makes a decision to wipe out everybody who is on this committee and to fully replace them in an unprecedented move with people that he has hand selected, you cannot tell me. I wasn't born yesterday. I might have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. All right. None of us believe that this is going to raise the public's confidence in the vaccines that are provided to our children. None of us believe that. And this is kind of part of the point, right? It's to make holes, one after the other, so that whether their science proves or doesn't prove any issues with vaccines, you have so worn down the belief from people in the sanctity of our science that they question everything all the time. And as a result, fewer and fewer people open themselves up to these life-saving interventions and medications. It's kind of the point. The chaos is kind of the point. So listen, I never want to walk out of these conversations just angry, right? I want us to be invigorated and to understand that they're not going to speak for us. For the next 3.5, 4 years, what have you, the folks who are in charge are making move after move that is actively anti-child. It's actively anti-kids. And so our job is to hold them accountable with our protest, to hold them accountable with our phone calls, to hold them accountable with our voices, to use every peaceful measure possible to apply pressure to help folks to understand that this is not acceptable. The other thing that we have to do in this time, now I'm talking to you, especially to our young pediatricians who are graduating all over the country, make it a mission to be prepared to answer tough questions that families might have. Because our government in this chapter, in this moment, despite so many wonderful stewards of science who are working hard within places like the CDC, we're being actively undermined by our government. And so it is up to us to step up in this moment, to be the chief convincers, to be the chief sharers with our patients of information, and to be prepared to answer the questions that we need to answer so that we can get the children the care that they need to get. It's up to us. Nobody's coming to save us. There's nobody coming to save us but us. And so we have to do it. So roll up your sleeves, right? Dig into the textbooks and make sure that you are as clear as humanly possible and have your strategies prepared to be able to talk to and stand up for the issues around vaccines, because we have a responsibility to the kids that we care for. Okay, my friends, that is our show today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know that these times are not always easy, but we have one another and we have an obligation to our children, to our families all over the country to step up and to really push ourselves to be the best possible advocates for kids and for families that we can possibly be. And so I just appreciate you tuning in with us. Definitely please make sure to like the episode, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Spotify, leave a rating, all of those really important things as we continue to build out this community. And until next time, this is Kids Today.